Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a few days since my kidney stone procedure, and I wanted to give you all a little bit of an update on that and some changes that are coming in this space and with the computer just off to the screen over there. It's been a few days now since the actual procedure took place, and for all intents and purposes, it went about as well as could be expected. They didn't have to do anything invasive. The ultrasonic shockwaves seemed to do the trick. Was some pretty significant pain for a couple of days afterwards, but after that, everything was fine. And starting to feel a little bit better now. Still have the left side to deal with, but all in due time. Second procedure will be later on, probably the first or second week of March at this point. I do have a follow-up on the 24th with my urologist before everything will be figured out. But near as I can tell, the right side is in much better shape. Now we do the left side. And with that, I want to say thank you to everybody who reached out, who offered well wishes and said really, really nice things on the last video. Really appreciate it. It's been a struggle, but we're almost there. That all being said, we've got some stuff to work out, some stuff to figure out. Many of you, if you've been following, know that I wanted to do a major update in spring for the computer, but we've all seen the state of hardware and it just doesn't seem very likely that that is going to happen. So we're going to modify those plans a little bit. Now, I still have an actual X570 motherboard in a box off to the side that I eventually was going to throw on the test bench. My test bench is just out of frame over here. Once my nephew's computer was built, the test bench was going to go there, and I was going to get another 3600 or something to use on that bench so that I had it functional still. But I'm going to switch plans here a little bit. Now, the upgrade I wanted to do, 5900X or 5950X, doesn't seem very likely in any time in the near future, what with all the hardware shortages that have been going on. Those two CPUs have not been available, nor have been really, at least at Micro Center, the motherboards that I've wanted to choose from, either the Crosshair Hero Dark or the Crosshair Formula. There was a Hero Dark in the other day, but it was only one and it didn't stay in stock very long. So that's kind of the route I wanted to go, 5900X or 5950X. Obviously upgrade the graphics card, but we all know that RTX cards have been incredibly hard to find as well. And some other things like maybe if I get some better memory. I want to go 64 gigs of memory with the upgrade and go Gen 4 PCI Express M.2. But for the short term, I think we're going to modify that because I do have that X570 board. It's an ASUS Gaming F motherboard. As long as it's still working. My friend Nick had a problem with it. I RMA'd it and they sent me this replacement. In the meantime, he went and got a new board. It then fizzled on him, and he's since switched to the Tough Gaming X570, I believe. So hopefully it still works. If it still works, my short-term plan is to go get a 3700X or 3900X if the budget allows, and make the switch. The 1080 Ti will remain the graphics card. Everything else will most likely stay the same, other than I think I'll use the Western Digital Black NVMe drive that I have. That's supposed to be for the test bench. If I'm using the motherboard and processor for the test bench in my main system for the short term, might as well pair it up right away. Either that, or if I can't afford it, I'll just go and get a Samsung 980 Pro 500 gig drive and then just move it over to the new board when I actually get what I want. But we're gonna go with that, 3700X or 3900X, depending on how much I can afford to spend at the time. And we'll just roll with that for a while. And then when the hardware situation settles down, we can go ahead and rethink that plan. There's another issue going on here, and I'm going to cut to a clip that will give you an idea of what this issue is. That is my EK Quantum Kinetic TBE 300 pump res combo. It has been making that sound for about a week now. I'm assuming there's something stuck in there, but the problem I'm having is that I have not been able to loosen the pump housing. So there's a ring on the bottom of the reservoir. In fact, I'll use this as an example. So right here, there's a ring. This is my spare, by the way. There's a ring here, and when you turn it, it allows you to separate the pump housing from the pump res combo. I can't get that loose on that Quantum Kinetic TBE. I'm assuming if I can get it loose, there's something in there that I can get out of there that is causing the problem, and it will run fine, and I won't have to go through an RMA. If I can't get it open though, I unfortunately will have to send it back to EK, where they'll either have to do it themselves or send me a replacement. Now this is where things get interesting in terms of me talking about rebuilding and redoing my system. I've had a Fractal Design Meshify 2 XL case sitting in the hallway for probably a good couple of months now. I want to do a case overview on it. I've been waiting for this kidney stone situation to clear up, but this to me would present, if I get that replacement pump or I can actually get that one working the way I want it to, would be a perfect opportunity to at least temporarily rebuild the system in that case, do the case overview, and actually give you an idea of what it's like to build in that case for water cooling. And I can knock out a couple of birds with one stone on that one. So that's kind of where I'm at. If I can get it taken apart and get the debris out of there and it runs without making this little ticking noise that you heard, we'll rebuild the system in the Meshify 2 XL. We'll put in the 3700 or 3900X on the ASUS ROG Strix Gaming F motherboard. And we'll proceed with that. I'll lose a sliver of performance in gaming, but I will gain a ton in CPU-based tasks. So when I do return to streaming, when I do get back into regular video editing and other such things, I will have more horsepower than what I have with the 8700K. The 8700K will then go to my daughter, who will then, the 5820K build will become the temporary test bench until I do all the upgrades. So that's where we're at right now. The other thing to talk about is this space in general. Now I'm going to go behind the camera real quick and shift it and kind of give you an idea of what I am thinking about doing here. All right, so we've entered handheld mode. It's a couple days after I filmed the first part of this video, and just want to kind of sum up what I want to do in here a little bit better than I did then. Ignore the mess over there in that corner. You know, cable management's not my strong point. If you get a good view of this entire room, you can even see it behind the monitor over there and all the way back into that corner. That is one thing that I want to do better with this revision of the room. In summary of what we want to bring down, what we want to do here, this stuff over here to the left. So there is a dresser behind. So behind the test bed over there is a dresser, and then there's a bookshelf right there. That stuff, if I do this right, will move over to that spot where that desk is. That desk is coming out of here, and this desk, which has a headboard behind it, if you get right in back there, see there's a headboard back there, and that's actually giving me the depth. This ultra wide, you can kind of see it right back there. That back leg is the problem here. This is a 27-inch desk, and it's just not deep enough with that ultra wide to be at a comfortable level. Yes, I could put it on an arm, but at the end of the day, the arm is unwieldy in this current situation and doesn't work as well as it should. The idea is to come up with a solution that allows that ultra wide to sit on its stand and have the room. This desk is my main desk right now. It's going to get pushed into that corner against the wall. The tower is going to stay on it, and what we're going to do in this space, because that shelf with the printer on it is going to go as well, we're going to put together a custom built desk. It's going to be about 72 inches long, and we're going to use 2x6s, I think, at this point, and we're going to get 6 of them, and that'll give me a depth of about 32, 33 inches or so, which should accommodate that ultra wide. And it'll take up pretty much the entire expanse of this area all the way to the door frame over there. It'll be on a sit to stand mount, either from Autonomous or Uplift, and that will allow me to adjust it so that when I'm still working from home, I can just lift it up and be in a more comfortable spot standing while I work, and then later in the day sit down to play video games and do whatever. And that will allow me to efficiently use this space a little bit more better. As you can see over there, there's empty space. Over there, there's empty space. We're going to try and make better use of this space for the short term. And so that's kind of the idea. Again, that desk into that corner, custom sit-to-stand desk over here, the dresser and the bookshelf over into where the computer tower is now. And hopefully this TV, this monstrosity, this 55-inch TV will be able to sit on the edge of the desk over here. And this test bench, which is sitting on my new workbench, this is a Husky workbench. It's covered in crap right now because I've been doing a bunch in here. That hopefully will fit on that side of the desk with a monitor, keyboard, and a mouse. And I will have my test bench on this half, the tower on the far half, monitors right about in there. And the whole situation will work a lot better, I think, unless I've calculated something very poorly, which is entirely possible. So that's kind of the plan. Now I'm going to return you back to the stuff I recorded a couple days ago. There's other stuff I want to do in here. There's LED strips I want to put in the corner up above by the ceiling, running around the room. I really like the idea of doing that for some additional ambient lighting. Probably get some diffusion so that I'm not looking at bare LEDs. The other thing that's happening is you can't see it in this shot, but the folding table that I've been using is going to be replaced. I've ordered a Husky workbench from Home Depot. It's a little bit longer, it's same width, but it has a handle that you can use, a crank handle that will raise and lower it. Should be easier than what this is, and allows me, and since it's on wheels, it'll be easier to move in and around of where I need it to be. But again, once I have everything configured, this test bench won't even be on this table anymore, and I'll have more freedom of space in that regards. This table can actually probably be lowered all the way and slid underneath the sit-to-stand desk, which will also help with maneuverability in here for the short term. So those are kind of the ideas that I have. It's probably going to be after taxes and after I'm done with the kidney stone saga that I'll actually begin working on the room stuff. The PC part may happen sooner. It'll depend again on how a lot of things turn out. The kidney stones, they weren't cheap. The procedure wasn't as expensive as some things that I've dealt with, but it still took a pretty good chunk out of my wallet. There's other content I do want to push. I think once the workbench is here, I'll have an easier time doing some of that content. I do, again, want to talk about the Lee & Lee fans. I want to talk about the PC Cooler Corona fans. When we rebuild the system, we'll talk about the Fractal Design Meshify 2XL, the Be Quiet Pure Loop 360. I do want to do a video on that. I think it's a really solid AIO, and I don't say that a lot about AIOs. So there's content to be had. There's things to be done. But I really wanted to give one more update on kind of what I was thinking about in terms of my own personal system, the room layout, and that pump and the kidney stones. All this cloth you see, this green cloth, it's all going to come down. I'm going to get some proper acoustic panels that maybe even my daughter will decorate. I could make them, I could buy them. I want to get some proper acoustic panels, put them in the areas where I'll be speaking and back behind to catch any reverb. So all that cloth is going to go down. That's scattered throughout this room. That is doing a decent job of killing the echo, but it's not doing as great as it could be. It can obviously be a whole lot better. I have a lot of ideas. I have things that I'm considering in terms of reorganization, storage, all that kind of fun stuff. But let me know, what would you do? How would you approach this? I think the sit-to-stand is probably going to be great for me in the short term and long term, considering that I am still working from home. Sitting's not great for long extended periods of time. That's going to do it though for this video. Like I said earlier, let me know in the comments below, what would you do with this space? What would be some suggestions, some ideas that you have? Let me know. I'll look at them, take them into consideration. I think I've got a pretty good plan for here, but we'll see how long it takes to actually enact it. But until next time, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.